Welcome back to another episode of Human Capital Uncovered. Chat with Hayfa. I'm your host, Hayfa Abuzabibah, and today we'll delve deep in the realm of human capital. Specifically, we'll look at amplifying engagement in your organization, including rewards, recognition, and translating the 5 love languages into the workplace. To set the stage for discussion, I'll start with a powerful quote by Dale Carnegie. He said, "People work for money, but go the extra mile for recognition, praise, and rewards." This quote captures the essence of our topic today. While financial compensation is important, it's the recognition, praise, and rewards that truly motivate employees to give their best and to go above and beyond. In today's episode, we'll be exploring the following 3 points. First, we'll be looking at understanding employee engagement and culture. Second, we'll look at the importance of rewards and recognition. And third, we'll focus on understanding and translating the 5 love languages to the workplace. And for our guest segment, we're also hosting a well-renowned guest and human capital leader who's an expert in the field. Employee engagement is the emotional commitment employees have to their organization and its goals. A positive culture is also the foundation of a high engagement in organization. When we look at the components of employee engagement, these could include things like meaningful work, recognition, growth opportunities, and supportive work environment. The importance of rewards and recognition is also something we need to focus on. So rewards and recognition is a powerful tool for enhancing employee engagement and reinforcing desired behaviors in the organization. Some of the types of rewards could include financial incentives, career development opportunities, and also public recognition. Now let's move to understanding the 5 love languages. Many of you are aware of the 5 languages, the 5 love languages, which is a concept introduced by Dr. Gary Chapman. And it's usually used to describe how people express and receive love in personal relationships. But here, we want to take it to the workplace. But to summarize the 5 love languages, they're words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And as I mentioned, while they're usually used in personal context, they can also be applied in the workplace to enhance employee recognition and rewards. Let's start with the first one. The first one is words of affirmation. And basically, this is about expressing appreciation and encouragement through verbal or written communication. So, for example, verbal praise could be recognizing employees' efforts and achievements during a team meeting or a one-on-one meeting as well. It could be written notes, so it could be a thank you note, or it could be, an acknowledgement via email of a job well done. There's also public recognitions. So, for example, highlighting employees' accomplishments in a company newsletter or in the social media. The impact of words of affirmation is that it boosts morale of the people. It increases motivation, and it fosters a positive work environment as well. The second love language is acts of service. And here, it's about doing something helpful or kind to others to show appreciation. So, for example, offering assistance, if helping employees with tasks or projects when they are overwhelmed. A second way could be providing resources, giving additional budget or resources or tools even to support and enable the team to succeed. A third one could be organizing team activities. So planning team building activities to show appreciation for employees' hard work. The impact of acts of service is that it can build trust, strengthen team bonds, and demonstrate that the organization values its employees. The third love language is receiving gifts. And here it involves giving tangible tokens of appreciation. For example, gift cards. Giving gift cards to employee of the year or of the month would be as a way to show appreciation. Personalized gifts as well. So engraved pens, for example, or custom awards would be something that could be used as some of the gifts. A third one is company swag. So here, offering branded merchandise such as T-shirts or mugs as a way to show appreciation to the employees. And the impact of this type of love language is that it makes employees feel valued and appreciated. The fourth love language is quality time. And here, it's all about spending meaningful time with employees. So, for example, one of the ways could be having one-on-one meetings to discuss the employees' challenges, their accomplishments, their achievements. Another one could be a team outing, where organizing team lunches, for example, or dinner to spend quality time together outside of work. A third way could be having mentorship programs where employees can connect with mentors and receive guidance and support as well. The impact of this love language is to strengthen relationships, improve communication, and create a sense of belonging. The last or fifth love language is physical touch. And of course, physical touch in the workplace needs to be approached with caution and respect for personal boundaries. Here are some of the examples that it can be applied in the workplace. One way is handshakes. So offering a firm handshake to congratulate employees on their achievement. A second way is high fives as well, especially if there's a team sport that is happening. And then a third way could be a pat on the back. So when appropriate and consensual, physical touch can create a sense of camaraderie and reinforce positive interactions. And now let's move to our well-renowned guest segment. I'm thrilled to welcome today Mr. Tamer Dhafar, who is the founder and CEO of Noble Career Advisory and Chief Talent Officer at Shifters.tech. He has over 20 years of experience in human capital and has occupied key leadership positions in well-esteemed companies such as Toys R Us, Nari Automotive, and Al Futtaim Automotive Group. Welcome, Tamer.
You're most welcome. I'm very happy and excited, inshallah, to have a great opposite today. And we're going to talk about many of the aspects and the challenges of the talent acquisition and the executive search in the landscape of Saudi Arabia and in the GCC countries as well.
That's amazing. So we always start with the question is, if you could tell us what was it about the early years that set you up for the success you are today?
Well, the story began when I was attended the Faculty of Engineering in King Abdulaziz University back in 1999 and early 2000s. And during that time, I have, shifted my interest into computer engineering. And throughout the years, I have figured out, by 2004, when I started, during my graduation project and during my graduation year, that got an assessment back in days. And I have figured out that myself maybe will be more excelling into the human capital ventures, and I have got an excited opportunity back in days with Agility Logistics, which was ranked one of the top 10 supply chain companies globally. So I started my career in the network engineering, and by the time that I was doing, the tasks for and the duties for the computer engineering and network administration, I've seen myself more into the areas of learning and development, trainings, and developing contents for super users to mainly engage on the aspects of the systems and how they can, manage the understanding of the system processes, and of course being super users as well for the systems that we have had back in days. As did my career into HR, I started my career back in 2005 with agility logistics. And I think I've started to learn more and invest more of my time into developing my capabilities and understanding of the fundamentals of HR management. I have had a greater chances with and exposures with agility logistics back days, because we have had, multiple locations in Saudi Arabia, as well as I have had the chance to visit even our premises in Dubai and our headquarters in Kuwait, which gives me the, let's say, the multinational flavor and understanding of the human capital initiatives, the human capital, processes, policies, and procedures. And then I started to learn more about the learning and development and the impact of the human capital in each and every corporate that I have joined afterwards.
That's amazing. It's great to transition from one career to another based on your passion. That's really amazing. Can you provide an overview of your role and your key responsibilities in your organization?
Yeah, well, today, I'm as a CEO and founder of Noble Career Advisory. I've started this journey back in 2018. And I believe throughout the past 6 years, this is our 7th year in the market, we have learned multiple ways to attract and retain the right caliber inside our organization. And we have been, through different difficulties and challenges throughout the years, specifically during the COVID-19 pandemic timing, because of the curfews, because of the changes of the behaviors of the employees, the employers. And throughout this time, we started to navigate our way through by providing the best practices and solutions for organizations as well, to attract and retain the top talent as well at their organizations. We have worked with multiple organizations like Tasheel Holding Group. I have worked also with Sumbula Group. I have worked with Budget. We have worked with over 60 companies right now in Saudi Arabia and in the United Arab Emirates. And as well as we have helped our sister company, Shifters.tech, to attract and also retain the top technical calibers that we have had throughout the past 6 years right now.
Yeah, mashallah, that's great. And how do you ensure that the HR strategy aligns with the company performance?
Well, this is a very deep question. And honestly, to begin with that, I think that there should be an overall strategy that are governing the whole organizational aspects. Specifically, when it goes to the balanced scorecard of the organization, we're speaking about 4 dimensions of the initiatives or pillars of the balanced scorecard. Speaking of which, one of those aspects, and for me, it's the foundation of all of that, is the team. Right? So basically, if we define what are our aspirations when it goes to the clients, and how we are going to sustain and ensure that our systems are there to help assisting us growing further, and also given the financial dynamics of the market and the growth opportunities that we are having, I believe if those 3 are clearly defined within the board of directors or the stakeholders, the owners and the other, people across the board. So that would ease the way for us as human capital professionals to come down and specifically tailor the strategy that are needed for each organization, and take it forward to a level that is going to help the organization either on the attraction level or on the retention levels, and as well as for balancing the what we are calling it today the work-life balance in a way or another. So it's going to enhance the engagement perspective, and from my point of view, throughout 10 companies that I have worked for previously, each and every organization is different in the essence and different in the purpose. So if we do have a purposeful meaning for the organization and why it is existing today, I think it's going to ease our way as human capital professionals to draw down the bold lines for the strategy and make sure that it aligns with the aspirations of the stakeholders and the organization in general.
Yes, that's true. Alignment is critical to ensure that all the initiatives enable the execution of the strategy.
Absolutely. I think the alignment is the key. And I remember the president of Al-Futtaim Automotive, when he first met with us here in Saudi Arabia after the acquisition of multiple organizations in the automotive landscape, he told us alignment is the only way forward for us to grow together. And honestly, that was an inspiration for me. Mr. Lenhunt was one of the biggest people in the field, and he's still. But he has left the Al-Futtaim group right now. But back in days, he was the head of Kia Automotive in North America, and he was someone that I have learned a lot in the leadership aspects from.
That's great. And what are some of the biggest challenges you face as a human capital leader in Saudi Arabia, and how do you navigate them?
Well, there are a lot of initiatives and changes that are taking place recently. And specifically when we're talking here about the labor laws and the empowerment of females in the workplace, I think that this is something that has a great impact on the social aspects as well of how the people are getting engaged today to their workplaces. Specifically, recently, I think it was yesterday when the changes of the labor law has been announced. So having specific, aspects of the resignation process was one of the things that clarified the page for each parties over here in the employment relationship. The employees will have the knowledge and understand what are their rights. So whenever that they are going to propose something, they should be aware today. And this is the whole importance of the awareness right now of and the initiatives that the government are doing. Back to the question, I think that the challenging aspects of how we are doing business today is literally has been influenced by the changes that are progressing right now from the government side, and given the drive that we're having today, such as the nationalization, and Saudization drives from the government throughout multiple industries, specifically when it goes to the retail industry, to the customer service industry, and as well as for the food and beverage. I think that we should take into account that we shall be having a proactive planning and actions in place to ensure that we are already complied with the overall drives for the nationalization. On the other hand, ensure that we are having a bit of understanding about the dynamics of the market today and the demand over talent. And I think that from that perspective, that's where we are witnessing today a war for talent. And honestly, when it goes to, specifically to the retail compliance with the nationalization drive today, I believe that it is going to be very difficult for the people to retain, the existing calipers, especially that we have very limited resources, and we do have multiple ways to identify and understand the behavioral drives also for the talents that are up there in the market. So in Noble Career Advisory, I think that we can help out organizations to identify the right calipers based on the traits and the behaviors that they are having. And on the other hand, making sure that those people are coming to add value and to be part of the growth opportunities that are happening in the future.
That sounds great. And I really liked what you said about that you can zoom in what are the critical skills needed to succeed in a role, and then select the right person who can drive the success. Now, my question to you is, if we're looking into the DNA of the CHRO, or like a senior HR leader, what are the 5 must-have skills or traits that need to be there from your experience? What are they?
Well, I would definitely start with the communication. Communication skills and the influencing skills are both vital for any CHRO. And if there are no understanding of the overall purpose and meaning of the organization, I think that this is going to be broken. And if those 2 aspects, the communication and the influencing skills are not there, so the CHRO would be struggling down the way to convey the message of the shareholders or the board to the team and to the the whole organization when it goes to what we are going to do over here and why we are doing it. And this is the key, of the key aspect of how the CHRO should lead by example at the end of the day. So I believe communication is important. Influencing skills as well is vitally important, as well as the analytical skills. So we are dealing right now with the huge amount of data, and you may imagine, and I think that we are sharing the same pain over here, whenever that you are having a new job post, how many people are applying for that job from your perspective? I can tell you the number, but I just want you to give me an example about a number of applicants for any, let's say, leadership role in your organization currently.
I agree with you.
The challenge there is that how we may identify from the analytical skill and point of view who could be the right fit for this role based on a criteria of selection, right? So this is all about analytical skills. On the other hand, business acumen is very important, and I believe if I don't see if I don't understand why this organization exists and what are their main values and drives, so basically I don't have anything to do if there is a say that is saying understand to be understood, right? So if I don't understand why the business is here and what are the main services or products that we are providing today, I don't think that I can cascade down, those objectives or values or vision of the organization towards the team. I would really see the 5th element or skill that are evolving right now, which is basically the digitalization and the use of the artificial intelligence. And I can tell you that the people who are excelling today towards understanding further about how the system thinks and how we can make use of the artificial intelligence will be sitting on the top of the pyramid by the upcoming 3 to 5 years. I can see this clearly because in our workplace, we started to use, let's say, many chat bots and AI, drives to identify the right caliber, or to also to have the right assessment solutions for them, or to provide them a tailored programs for coaching or for mentorship as well. So I believe that digitalization is another aspect that we should be looking at today, and it's a skill that must have for any CHRO to succeed on their current roles.
I fully agree with the 5 that you have selected because the landscape has changed. 10 years ago, some of these skills, maybe they were needed, but not to the degree that they are needed today.
Absolutely.
Being able to deliver initiatives and to be able to create strategies that are data-driven, things that HR leaders got away with previously, is they're not going to be able to get away with it. I remember HR used to sit in front of the board and request huge amounts of resources for training, but then they never presented any value,
or outcomes out of that. Absolutely.
The CEO
correct.
would say, okay, we spent this many million in training, but what is the impact? Whereas in any other business, he would actually know what is the return on investment. But with HR, it's like, for sure there's value, and of course, now we're much better at measuring impacts for training and other HR initiatives, but you really need the CHRO to be on top of it. Sometimes CHROs are comfortable over delegating without really understanding how everything is integrated together. And I think that's the integration part becomes very critical to ensuring the success, because you can't look at talent development alone and compensation alone and recruitment alone. You really need to look at it more as an integrated, and like you mentioned earlier, how it all aligns with the strategy and the execution of the strategy.
Absolutely.
A company that is more focuses on operational excellence is different than a company that focuses on product innovation. The skills that are required, so how they incentivize people, what curriculum they use for development is going to be adjusted depending on what is the strategy of the company. And I think more and more CHROs really need to understand this and translate it rather than present initiatives without showing the connection.
Absolutely, and this is where I selected business acumen, because at the end of the day, if we don't understand the essence of the business and the purpose of this business, basically we're going just to put some theories in place, and at the end of the day, we don't figure out a way to have a measurable ROI. And this is the critical, aspect of how we should be engaging upwards with the board of directors or the stakeholders, and downwards as well with our teams. Because at the end of the day, one of the very critical, positions that we need to have currently is the engagement, and how much the people are engaged with the organization is playing a great role today on how this business is excelling or surviving throughout their, very first stages of starting up. And that was evident with the value of the companies that has been out of business throughout COVID-19 pandemic, and we all witnessed that. Thank God, by that time we have had several initiatives that we all connect. Specifically in our organization today, we have people in Jeddah, we have people in Riyadh, we have other people in Dubai, and we have some team members as well in Cairo in Egypt. So making sure that the cohesion is there between us and understanding why we exist and how we can add value to the real life over there and to our business was the only motivation and drive back a days. And I think that's how our business survived, alhamdulillah, in this aspect. And I think most of the organizations who took the advantage of making sure that the communication is efficient, effective, back a days, has navigated their way throughout those years.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. Well, let's move on to another topic.
Sure.
You brought engagement. One of the parallel subjects to engagement is culture, which has moved from being a buzzword to now being one of the key priorities for leaders in organizations.
Yes.
Now, from your experience, what are some of the key milestones that need to be there to ensure that having positive culture is a reality in the organization?
Well, in this landscape, I believe that it all goes back to the heart of the organization, which is the founder's mentality. And when it comes to the founder's mentality, I think that there are some great books called Founder Mentality, and I really recommend all the CHROs to read this book. That it gives you an insights about how do I really think like the founder of this organization. And that being said, I believe that if the essence of the organization and the heart of the organization are coming towards making a great company that going to last and add value to its customers and sustain its growth opportunities down the way, I believe this is the main pillars that can help out organizations to sustain and to further catalyze their own culture and make sure that this culture is attractive for the people. At the end of the day, it's all about the reputation as well. Right? So when it goes to the culture, that definitely reflects on the reputation of the organization and ultimately on the employer brand. And given that the culture has been a vital aspect today of making sure that the company is on the right track of growth and they have a glide path towards success, I think that values become a very vital, drive for the culture to flourish in a way. So by having the values and the founder's mentality embedded within the performance measurements and the leadership, let's say, aspects of how we are going to measure the performance of our employees and calipers inside of the organization, and making sure that those toolkits are available for each and every manager that are involved throughout the process. Ensure that there is a clear communication plan and understanding of the value of performance of the company and the organization is going to help everyone out to have and enjoy their workplace at a level of time.
That's a really great way of putting it. I like how you mentioned that it's important to include it in addition to the performance goals and to ensure that everyone sees this as important from the top down.
Absolutely.
Culture is one of those things. It does really start at the top.
Yes, yes.
Can you share some of the strategies or initiatives that you have implemented in order to attract or retain talent, especially in this competitive market?
Yeah, well, actually, the market is becoming very challenging throughout the past 4 years post COVID. I think that we have rarity of some of the calibers in the market, and I think that we were speaking about specifically right now for the companies that has an aspiration to go for IPO or the publicly listed companies. They have multiple challenges on attracting certain levels of expertise on different levels of leadership, and I believe that having the right network and I believe also on having the right career progression plan for each and every individual will make the right selection. At the end of the day, I 3 A's that are going to help any organization on how to attract the right caliber. And it starts with the attitude. So if someone has the positive attitude, you can easily, mold them out with the set of skills and have the right career path and progression plan for them as well to understand where they are heading. The second aspect of this pyramid is the attributes, which is basically the personality attributes and the leadership attributes. And it could be measured throughout multiple psychometric tests, one of which is the center of assessment that we are certified with today, and we are the sole provider for it in Saudi Arabia and in Egypt. Prism brain mapping that is going to give you an insights about the underlying of the personality and the aspects of his main drives. So basically you may have a better understanding on how this person would eventually add value, which is, this is the third part of this theory. So basically it's about attitude, attributes, and what are the expected added value of this person when he's going to join the organization. I believe this equation could solve a lot of challenges that we are facing today. But on the other hand, the filtration process and the screening process of the is the main drive for us to understand how to attract the people and retain them in the workplace.
Very true. I agree with you. What are some of the, or what is the approach that you prefer to follow in terms of talent development and succession planning to ensure that there's a strong leadership pipeline?
Okay. Well, let us face the truth over here. I think succession planning, and this is also validated, 90% of succession planning initiatives fails in the very first 6 months. And I can tell you why from our experience, and I think that you share the same experience as well. Initially, the succession planning should ensure that we have a good pipeline for the critical positions that we're having on every organization, right? The very first challenge that we're facing over there is the engagement with the holders or occupants of the critical positions, right? So we were facing a lot of, let's say, challenges understanding and identifying the key performance indicators and the key results areas for each and every position of those critical positions. And this is giving us some hard time when it goes to identifying who are the best successors as well. Because at the end of the day, if we don't have the competency framework in place, or we don't do it, framework should take place into any organization, I believe that there are a lot of gaps that are going to happen down the way, specifically when it goes to succession planning. Because the succession planning, from my experience and my point of view, takes months to just, get it, live, up and running. And on the other hand, the other challenge comes with the successors themselves. So sometimes they just leave the organization down the way. So this is something that we should be taken in consideration. Essentially, the succession planning should be happen as fast as possible. This is from my experience and from my background. And on the other hand, we should be having something that is going to influence this direction by having the engagement and sponsorship of the owners or the CEOs or the major stakeholders of the organization, that we should initiate and manage and engage this particular programs within a lapse of 9 months maximum. If it goes beyond that, believe me, it goes to the 90% of failure at the end of the day. Yeah. And this is from our experience. I think that you are sharing the same experience from your corporate world as well.
I agree with you. I think succession planning, it needs to be, first of all, it needs to, like you said, think of the competency framework, relate it all to the strategy, and then make sure that whatever the leaders are being assessed against is what will move the organization forward.
Definitely.
And then align the development of that with it. And then, like you mentioned, the retaining talent piece then becomes even more essential. Because if you're going to invest that much in, and then after all this, then if you develop them, but you don't have initiatives to retain them, then it's just a lost investment. I agree with you.
Yes.
And then how do you leverage technology and data analytics in HR practices to drive better decision-making in the organization?
Yeah, well, actually, that one of the set skills that I believe that every CHRO should be having today. And understanding the system thinking process is very important nowadays, because at the end of the day, each and every organization today is has its own system, or have invested a good amount of money in bringing down the right systems for them. I think that throughout the past, let's say 15 years right now, I have been engaged with multiple systems and platforms like Oracle and SAP and iScala, AS400. But at the end of the day, I believe the systems that are going to be more engaging with the employees, specifically the ones that has employee self-service or manager self-service, is going to bridge the gap, right? And there are some ways and possibilities from those systems to make sure that we also, as head of HR in our organizations, are consistently driving the right message towards our people. So like having a forum, an internal forum, and having like our internal Facebook, let's say, is going to help us engaging more, specifically when it goes to the organizations that has wide geographical branches and geographical coverage. So I would know what are the activities that the people in our Dammam branch is doing, or in our Dubai branch is doing, by having this thread of engaging forums and jams per se, to make sure that the people are getting to know each other, specifically when the company grows into a large number of employees and it exceeds 1,000 employees, it's very rare for all of them to come together one day unless there are some platform that is going to help out everyone to make sure that there are some level of engagement between the employees across the board. And on the other hand, it also should help us having a sound and let's say logical based decisions that is going to help us making sure that our objectives are met, and on the other hand our messages are heard and everybody's sound also from the our employees are heard as well. So you may have something like a suggestion box, right? Maybe back in days, 20 years back, we did have it like a physical box. Right now, you can have it online. And this is how we can leverage the technology into this area and making sure that everything that we are having today is there to help us as leaders of the organizations to make sure that we have that engagement, aspect, as well as the right communication plans in place.
That's very true. The way work is done has changed drastically since, like you mentioned, 20 years ago. I don't even remember what the technology was back then, but it's very true that the way we do work has evolved. And now there's alternative ways of doing things, especially to capture, like you said, the different context in different organizations, if they have different locations, different time zones, different industries as well. So it's good to find technology solutions. And we're so lucky that nowadays there's so many options. You might have the other extreme where it's really hard to identify what is the right solution for the company. But the options are there, the solutions are there, and it's really good to utilize these solutions to make work easier for the team so that they can focus on where they need to focus. Absolutely. Rather than on the mundane things that are there. Thank you. That is all the questions I have. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, well, actually, speaking of the different, time zones and the geographical, locations, well, nowadays, I think that there are a lot of platforms as well that you may hire people, globally, right? Yes. And this thing is the plus of the technology that we are having today. Currently, in our organization, we have hired consultants in Turkey, we have hired consultants in the UK, we have also hired consultants from the States and from South Africa. So we are all working together. We are all working freely wherever that we are based, or we just plug and play, right? And this is the art of how the technology today should be serving us. On the other hand, yes, we sometimes we face some difficulties, let's say per se the internet connectivity and the stuff, but at the end of the day, making sure that we do have this technology, leveraging it is the right keyword for that, and making sure that this is happening for the good of our organizations, and how we may really capitalize on the digitalization aspects of how we are making business today is going to bring a great value, inshallah, for our organization and for the organizations that we are partnering with.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Tamer.
Thank you so much.
I really enjoyed having you on this episode, and the insight you have shared is really helpful for us, for the audience, in order for them to take their, human capital topics to the next level.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, and I'm really happy to be here and share my experience and insights about what we have faced throughout the past couple of years, as well as sharing my story throughout the last 20 years. I hope that we grow together. And this is the slogan that we are having today. And I'm so much proud and happy to be part of the squad who has joined the bidding nation for Saudi Arabia FIFA 34, inshallah. And we hope that we can see this live in our country. And we are going to be proud, inshallah, to share all and put all our efforts and expertise to help our nation, inshallah, to grow further.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.
To recap, we discussed today the importance of employee engagement and culture. We also looked at how we can translate the 5 love languages to the workplace in order to enhance the rewards and recognition programs, making employees feel valued and appreciated. By incorporating words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch into your recognition strategies, you can create more engaging and motivating work environment. As well, we featured a well-renowned expert in the field who shared valuable insight with us today. And that wraps up our chat on uncovering human capital. Please share your comments and what successful rewards and recognition strategies you have implemented and how they relate to the 5 love languages. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, to follow us on social media as well for updates and more valuable insight. Remember, the greatest asset is not your product or service, it's the people. Thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep uncovering the potential in your human capital. Thank you.